too long ago, some people invited me to dinner at the Hungry Hunter. It's a nice place, I think. Food is good, the drink is good, the company so-so. No, I'm teasing. Especially the dessert. You know, I don't know why I go there. I'm comfortable with the meal, but once I eat dessert, then I can hardly breathe. So I'm leaving the restaurant, going to my car, and there's, next to Costco there's a lot of homeless people. And this guy is sitting on the curb right as you're leaving the restaurant. And I thought, just my luck to be hit up for money once I come out of a nice restaurant, But I recognize the irony of the situation. Here I was having a great meal, eating way too much. I didn't have to pay for it. And then this guy is asking for a handout. So I gave him some money. And he said, wow, thank you so much, because I gave him, more than $1. And, but I thought I could have done much better than that for this guy, considering how much my meal cost and the fact that I didn't have to put a penny out of my pocket for it. In the gospel today, we have this rich man who we're told dresses well, lives well, eats well. And that in and of itself is not bad. No sin in that. His downfall comes from his inability to take notice of somebody unlike himself who is at his doorstep. Jesus can't make the parable any more obvious. His failure was simply not recognizing that there are other people around who are in great need. This Lazarus was not only poor, sick, naked, his body covered with sores, lying right there in front of this man's home. Yet apparently the rich man just simply overlooked him, chose not to pay attention, stepping over him maybe from time to time. And so the great reversal of fortune happens. The rich man loses it all and is tormented in the afterlife, while Lazarus, who had nothing, receives everything at the bosom of Abraham. I don't think God is asking us to solve the problems of poverty in our world, if they can even be solved. And I don't think God expects that we're going to do everything to help a person get back to some standard of living that we enjoy. God is not asking us to do everything, just something. And in our charity to the poor, it's not even about the poor. It's about who we are, whether we are people of compassion. So often as you drive around, you see homeless people everywhere these days, and probably we begin taking them for granted. At one point, if you saw somebody pushing a grocery cart in the street with goods piled on there, you'd kind of take notice and say, whoa, what's going on? We don't do that anymore. And sometimes we may think, well, look, we got homeless shelters, we got St. Vincent de Paul, Catholic Charities, why don't they go there? But that's not the point. The point is that it is an invitation for us to respond, to take notice. And our acts of charity, again, say more about who we are than what we're actually doing for that poor person. So as we move through Lent, that's one of the pillars of this season, is to be charitable, to do good things for other people. It may not be much, but the fact is, it says something about what is in our heart already. If our conscience doesn't at least bug us in some way about these things, then we got what to do. And I was also thinking about this gospel in terms of the stations of the cross. The sixth station, Veronica wipes the face of Jesus. She was probably a bystander. She probably didn't even know Jesus. But something within her compelled her to step out of the crowd, out of her comfort zone, and wipe the face of Christ. Who knows whether that even did any good for Jesus? He was in such pain. But it says something about Veronica, the kind of person she was, how her heart felt compassion compassion and mercy for Jesus going through his suffering. So as we continue our journey through the Lenten season, we need to know what the purpose of charity is, why we are even confronted with people who are poor. And then we strive out of our goodness, out of our faith, to do what we can to alleviate the pain of so many people.